Chosen one, listen carefully, because this message is not arriving by accident. Heaven is trying to protect you before something hidden creates damage in your life. There is a woman connected to your path, and you must become spiritually aware before her influence begins to interfere with the peace, clarity, and direction God has been building inside you. This is not meant to place fear in your heart. It is meant to wake up your discernment so you do not mistake distraction for destiny. God is showing you something important before it becomes heavier to carry. There are situations around you that appear normal on the surface, but beneath them exists confusion that can slowly drain your focus and weaken your spirit if you are not paying attention. Because you are chosen, every connection around you matters. Every influence has the power to either strengthen your future or delay it. Type Amen if you believe God is protecting you right now. You have entered a season where spiritual awareness matters more than comfort. God is revealing things to you little by little, because your next season requires wisdom, discipline, and emotional clarity. There is a woman whose energy feels familiar, whose words may sound comforting, and whose presence may appear harmless at first. But something deeper within you has already sensed that all is not fully aligned. That feeling inside you did not appear randomly. God placed that inner warning within your spirit for a reason. You have tried to overlook it because your heart naturally wants peace and understanding, but ignoring discernment only creates confusion later. God is not calling you to hate anyone. He is calling you to see clearly. Pay attention to the way your spirit responds after interactions with her. Notice how your thoughts begin to shift. Notice whether your peace stays steady or becomes unsettled. Sometimes the greatest disruptions in life do not arrive loudly. They enter quietly, slowly blending into your routine until you no longer recognize how much of your energy has been drained. This is why God is speaking to you now before deeper attachment forms. There are people who enter your lit life carrying support, encouragement, and alignment with your purpose. But there are also people who arrive carrying distraction disguised as connection. Wisdom is learning the difference before damage is done. You have already experienced moments where something felt slightly off, even if you could not explain it with words. Maybe there were conversations that left you emotionally exhausted. Maybe there were moments where confusion replaced clarity after spending time together. Maybe you noticed yourself second-guessing your instincts just to preserve harmony. God is telling you not to silence what your spirit has already recognized. The truth often whispers before it becomes obvious. Type 11111 if you trust God's guidance. This warning is not about reacting emotionally or rushing into confrontation. God is asking you to become observant instead of impulsive. Slow down and watch carefully. Watch patterns instead of promises. Watch consistency instead of temporary emotions. Some people know how to speak beautifully while carrying intentions that slowly weaken your confidence and direction over time. Discernment is not about judging harshly. It is about protecting the peace God has planted inside your life. You are allowed to create distance when your spirit no longer feels safe. You are allowed to guard your energy when confusion repeatedly follows a connection. There is a breakthrough approaching your life, and because of that, distractions are becoming more aggressive. The closer you move toward purpose, the more important your boundaries become. God is not trying to control your choices. He is giving you spiritual insight so you can avoid unnecessary pain and delays. Some relationships are assignments, not destinations. They arrive to teach lessons, reveal weaknesses, and expose areas where growth is still needed. That does not mean they are meant to stay forever. Holding onto the wrong influence too tightly can block what God is trying to bring into your future. You are naturally compassionate. You try to understand people deeply. You often give second chances because you want to believe the best in others. That kindness is beautiful, but without discernment it can become dangerous. Being chosen does not mean saying yes to every connection. It means learning how to recognize what aligns with your calling and what quietly pulls you away from it. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to your heart, your mind, or your future. God is teaching you how to protect what He placed inside you. There may be moments when this woman appears supportive, encouraging, or emotionally available, and that is exactly why this situation feels confusing. Not everything harmful appears evil immediately. Some distractions come wrapped in comfort and familiarity. That is why you cannot depend only on appearances. You must pay attention to spiritual fruit. After speaking with her, do you feel stronger or weaker, more peaceful or more anxious, more focused or more distracted? These answers matter more than surface emotions. God is sharpening your awareness because your future requires emotional maturity and spiritual stability. You cannot carry confusion into the season He is preparing for you. The life ahead of you needs clarity, discipline, and alignment. This is why certain relationships are being exposed right now. You are learning that protecting your peace is not selfish. Walking away from confusion is not cruelty. Sometimes distance becomes necessary for growth to continue. Type 777 if you believe God is guiding your steps. There will be times when your heart wants to hold onto what your spirit already knows is unstable. That inner conflict is real. One part of you desires connection while another part senses warning. God sees that struggle clearly. But understand this carefully. True peace never requires you to betray your discernment. Real alignment will not leave you constantly drained, confused, insecure, or emotionally unstable. God does not lead you into cycles that slowly weaken your spirit. He leads you toward clarity and peace even when difficult decisions must be made. You may also notice subtle manipulation appearing through communication. Conversations may leave you doubting yourself unnecessarily. Your words may become twisted or misunderstood repeatedly. You may feel pressure to constantly explain your intentions while your own feelings are ignored. These are not small signs. Healthy connection produces stability and understanding, not endless emotional tension. If every interaction leaves you mentally exhausted, spiritually heavy, or emotionally confused, then your spirit is trying to warn you about something deeper. God is calling you into a higher level of awareness. This is the season where your environment matters deeply. The people around you will either strengthen your destiny or slowly distract you from it. Energy matters, influence matters, conversations matter. You cannot ignore repeated patterns and expect peace to remain unaffected. God is helping you understand that boundaries are spiritual protection, not rejection. There are some people who can only walk beside you for a season. Their role is temporary. Their purpose is instructional. They help reveal what still needs healing inside you. Then life moves forward. Trying to force permanence where God intended temporary connection only creates unnecessary suffering. You must learn when to release what no longer aligns with your future. Letting go is not failure. Sometimes letting go is obedience. This warning is also testing your spiritual maturity. How will you respond when truth becomes uncomfortable? Will you ignore your discernment to preserve temporary comfort? Or will you trust God enough to choose peace over emotional attachment? Growth requires difficult decisions sometimes. God is teaching you how to remain calm while recognizing truth clearly. Anger is not required. Revenge is not required. Discernment is enough. Stay grounded. Stay prayerful. Stay emotionally steady. When your mind becomes quiet, clarity becomes easier to recognize. Truth does not create endless confusion. Truth brings understanding, even if it arrives through uncomfortable realizations. The more aligned you become with God, the more sensitive your spirit will become to unhealthy influences. This sensitivity is not weakness. It is protection. Type 22222 if you believe miracles are still coming into your life. There is something powerful waiting ahead of you, but you cannot step fully into it while carrying emotional chaos that God never intended for you to hold. Your future needs focus. Your future needs spiritual strength. Your future needs confidence rooted in truth instead of emotional dependency. This is why God is revealing certain things before you move into your next season. Preparation often involves separation. Do not ignore the exhaustion you feel after certain interactions. Do not ignore the heaviness that appears without explanation. Do not ignore how your motivation weakens when confusion enters your environment repeatedly. Your focus is valuable. Your peace is valuable. Your calling is valuable. Anything that consistently disrupts those things must be examined carefully. God is not abandoning you in this process. He is walking beside you through every realization, every difficult emotion, and every moment of uncertainty. Even now, He is strengthening your ability to choose wisely. He is teaching you how to trust the voice within you that recognizes truth before your mind fully understands it. What you are sensing is not imaginary. It is spiritual awareness growing stronger inside you. There will come a moment when the patterns become impossible to ignore. In that moment, trust what God has already shown you. Do not allow guilt to keep you trapped inside unhealthy cycles. Protecting your spirit is not selfish. Choosing peace is not weakness. Walking away from confusion is sometimes the most powerful act of obedience you can make. You are being transformed into someone wiser, calmer, and more spiritually grounded than before. This situation is shaping your discernment for the future. It is teaching you how to recognize alignment instead of illusion. It is teaching you that peace should never have to compete with confusion. God is building strength inside you through this experience. The right people for your life will not consistently disturb your spirit. They will not constantly weaken your focus or leave you questioning your worth. What is truly meant for you will carry peace, honesty, stability, and clarity. It will not force you to abandon your discernment just to keep the connection alive. Type 1212 if you trust Jesus completely. Your spirit already knows more than your emotions want to admit. Stop ignoring what God has been revealing quietly within you. This message reached you for a reason. Heaven is protecting you from something that could delay your growth if you remain unaware. Stay alert. Stay prayerful. Stay connected to God's voice above every other voice around you. He is leading you toward peace, wisdom, and a future that is fully aligned with your purpose. The reason your focus has been under attack lately is because your future carries weight, purpose, and transformation far greater than you realize at this moment. There are distractions trying to pull your attention in every direction, because once your mind becomes steady and your spirit becomes disciplined, nothing will be able to stop what is coming into your life. Declare yes if you are ready to receive what has been prepared for you. You must begin noticing how people respond the moment you stop abandoning yourself to keep others comfortable. Watch carefully when you speak honestly, when you refuse to bend your standards, or when you choose peace over pleasing everyone around you. The reaction will reveal everything. Genuine people may not always agree immediately, but they will respect your honesty and your need for clarity. Those operating through control will react differently. They may attempt to confuse you, pressure you, guilt you, or make you question your own instincts. Pay attention to those reactions because they expose what words try to hide. I am not telling you to become cold-hearted or defensive. I am guiding you to become observant, wise, and emotionally steady. There is incredible strength in remaining calm while seeing everything clearly. There is power in restraint. Quick reactions often create unnecessary chaos, but intentional actions preserve peace and protect your spirit. When you slow down and move carefully, you stop giving your energy away to confusion. You begin protecting the clarity I have been building within you. You are entering a season where your boundaries will no longer be optional. In earlier chapters of your life, you tolerated behavior that should have been questioned. You ignored warning signs because you wanted harmony. You remained silent to avoid arguments, discomfort, or rejection. But that version of you is fading. You are growing into someone who understands that healthy boundaries are not cruelty. They are wisdom developed through experience. You have learned too much to continue ignoring what drains your spirit. Never underestimate the importance of stepping away when your soul needs space. Sometimes closeness hides what distance exposes. When you create room to breathe and reflect, you begin seeing situations without emotional fog. What once felt confusing starts becoming obvious. You will notice repeated behaviors, repeated patterns, and repeated energies that your spirit has been trying to warn you about for a long time. That awareness will not weaken you. It will strengthen your confidence and help you move forward with certainty instead of fear. I am preparing your life for healthier connections, stronger relationships, and more peaceful environments. But before those things fully arrive, what no longer belongs must first become visible. You cannot continue carrying emotional weight that exhausts you while expecting to fully receive what is meant to uplift you. There are people, habits, and energies that have occupied space in your life for too long. This is the season where release becomes necessary. Every moment of awareness creates room for renewal. Every lesson creates space for alignment. There is an inner transformation taking place right now. You are becoming more grounded in yourself, more careful about who receives your energy, and more intentional about where your attention goes. At first, this change may feel unfamiliar because you are no longer operating from old emotional habits. But this shift is building a more stable version of you. Trust what is happening even when it feels uncomfortable. You are not being called to isolate yourself from the world. You are being led toward alignment with truth, peace, and purpose. There is a major difference between isolation and alignment. Isolation creates emptiness, confusion, and emotional disconnection. Alignment creates clarity, peace, and stability within your spirit. I am leading you toward relationships and environments that reflect the peace I have placed inside you. What you are experiencing now is helping you recognize the difference more clearly than ever before. Be patient with yourself during this process. Awareness does not always provide instant answers, but it always points you in the correct direction. You do not need to rush toward conclusions. Continue observing. Continue listening within. Continue paying attention to what repeatedly disturbs your peace and what consistently strengthens it. The understanding you need will arrive naturally as long as you remain steady and honest with yourself. Allow things to unfold without forcing outcomes. You are being protected in ways you do not fully see yet. Every warning feeling, every moment of discomfort, every sudden realization, and every subtle sign is part of that protection. I am directing your steps carefully so you avoid paths that would eventually damage your peace. Trust the guidance you have been receiving. It is not leading you backward. It is guiding you towards something greater than what you have settled for before. Guard your peace carefully. Protect your attention from unnecessary distractions. Stay rooted in truth, even when confusion tries to surround you. You are not being led deeper into uncertainty. You are being pulled out of it completely. What is ahead of you requires mental clarity, emotional strength, and spiritual stability, and that preparation is already happening within you right now. I am not only removing you from harmful situations, I am strengthening your discernment so you will recognize truth faster in the future. You are learning how to trust what you sense without constantly needing approval or reassurance from other people. Declare 10-10 if you are ready to receive blessings and divine favor. There is a quiet confidence developing inside you, and it grows stronger every time you stop ignoring your inner knowing. In the past, you second-guessed yourself too quickly. You dismissed your instincts because you feared being wrong. You convinced yourself that your discomfort was overthinking instead of wisdom. But that cycle is ending. You are learning to trust what your spirit recognizes, even when others fail to understand it. Not everyone will understand your need for distance, silence, or boundaries, and that is perfectly fine. Your purpose is not to satisfy every expectation around you. Your purpose is to remain aligned with truth and protect your peace. Some people may try to pull you back into old versions of yourself because those versions were easier to control, easier to influence, and easier to manipulate emotionally. You may feel moments of guilt when you begin changing your behavior or creating emotional distance. Do not allow guilt to trap you inside patterns you have already outgrown. Growth naturally creates separation from what no longer aligns with your spirit. That separation is not failure. It is transformation taking place in real time. The more carefully you observe, the more clearly repeated patterns will become visible. You may notice inconsistencies in behavior, sudden shifts in energy, or moments that simply feel wrong deep inside without obvious explanation. These are not meaningless coincidences. They are signals asking for your attention. Repetition reveals truth louder than isolated incidents ever can. When the same energy keeps appearing, stop ignoring what it is trying to show you. Type 2222 if you are ready to claim miracles over your life. You are also being reminded how valuable your energy truly is. Whatever receives your focus will eventually influence your future. If you continuously pour your thoughts, emotions, and attention into situations that drain your spirit, you will slowly lose clarity and direction. Protecting your energy is not selfish behavior. It is necessary for your growth and stability. You are entering a season where your focus must remain sharp and your spirit must remain grounded. There will be moments when you feel tempted to explain every decision you make, so others will understand your reasoning. That desire is understandable, but not every choice requires outside validation. Some decisions are deeply personal and guided by inner truth. When you know you are aligned with peace and wisdom, you no longer need everyone's approval before moving forward. Confidence replaces the constant need for reassurance. I am also teaching you the difference between compassion and unhealthy compromise. Compassion allows you to care about others without abandoning yourself. Unhealthy compromise causes you to sacrifice your own truth simply to keep temporary peace. You are being called to remain compassionate while still protecting your clarity. You can love people without allowing confusion to dominate your life. As you continue creating emotional distance from what drains you, you will notice your mind becoming clearer. Thoughts that once felt chaotic will begin settling into place. Emotional heaviness will slowly begin lifting from your spirit. That shift is confirmation that you are moving in the correct direction. Clarity often arrives the moment you step away from what has been clouding your vision. When that clarity appears, do not ignore it or minimize it. It is guiding you toward wiser decisions and healthier paths. Timing is also important in this process. You are not required to react immediately to everything you discover. You are only required to stay aware and honest with yourself. Action becomes easier once understanding becomes complete. For now, focus on observation, reflection, and strengthening your discernment. When the correct moment arrives, you will not feel confused or unstable. You will feel calm, clear, and certain about what must happen next. Becoming more aware is not causing you to lose something valuable. It is helping you gain wisdom, strength, and direction for the future. Whatever exits your life because of clarity was never truly meant to remain permanently. What stays will be healthier, stronger, and more aligned with who you are becoming. This is how transformation works. It removes what no longer fits so that something better can finally enter. Remain calm throughout this transition. Do not allow frustration, resentment, or anger to dominate your thinking, because those emotions cloud discernment. Peace strengthens clarity. Calmness strengthens wisdom. A steady spirit makes stronger decisions than a reactive mind ever could. Never mistake peace for weakness. True peace requires tremendous inner strength. You are also being prepared for deeper and more genuine connections ahead. The discernment you are developing now will help you recognize sincerity more clearly in the future. You will stop being easily distracted by appearances, empty words, or temporary comfort. You will learn to look deeper, feel deeper, and choose more intentionally. This inner transformation is powerful, and it will shape your future in ways you cannot fully understand yet. As you continue moving forward, remember, you are not navigating this alone. Guidance has been surrounding you through every realization, every warning feeling, and every moment of understanding. Wisdom is being planted within you so you can move confidently instead of fearfully. Trust that guidance even when it leads you toward difficult choices or uncomfortable truths. Those choices are creating room for healthier experiences and stronger opportunities. Continue focusing on your growth. Continue protecting your peace. Do not allow distractions or emotional confusion to pull you away from the person you are becoming. You are stepping into a stronger identity, one rooted in awareness, stability, and truth. This moment is part of your transformation. Every step has been preparing you, so what once seemed confusing now begins making sense naturally. You are not imagining the things you have been sensing. You are not overreacting to what has been revealed around you. Your awareness is expanding, and truth is becoming impossible to ignore. Declare 777 if your faith remains strong. There is an awakening taking place inside you that cannot be undone, because once your eyes fully open to truth, you can never completely return to blindness again. You may attempt to minimize what you see. You may try convincing yourself that things are not as serious as they feel. But deep within, the clarity will remain, and your spirit will continue urging you toward truth, peace, wisdom, and freedom. You were never being punished by what you experienced. Every moment that tested you was shaping a stronger version of you, awakening a deeper understanding inside your spirit. What feels heavy at times is not there to destroy your peace, but to sharpen your awareness so you stop ignoring the quiet truths your soul has already recognized. You are entering a season where your inner knowing can no longer be silenced. The lessons you have gained are becoming part of who you are, and that growth is permanent. There is no returning to the old version of yourself after seeing life this clearly. Lately, you may have realized that your energy reacts before your thoughts can fully explain why. Pay attention to that. Your spirit notices things long before your mind forms the words. When you feel uncomfortable around certain people or situations, do not dismiss it as nothing. That feeling exists for a reason. It is guidance. It is wisdom speaking softly beneath the surface, trying to protect you from what no longer belongs in your life. The world may teach you to ignore those signals, but your spirit was designed to recognize truth without needing endless explanations. The more you listen to that quiet inner awareness, the more clearly you will see the path ahead. There will be times when you are tempted to return to what feels familiar, not because it is healthy, not because it brings peace, but simply because it is known. Familiarity can imitate comfort while silently draining your spirit. Many people remain trapped in cycles, not because those cycles fulfill them, but because uncertainty feels frightening. But you are no longer called to live by fear. You are being led toward truth, even if truth feels unfamiliar at first. Real peace does not come from staying where you are comfortable. It comes from aligning yourself with what is honest, healthy, and spiritually clear. Type 1212 if you are choosing faith over fear. You are discovering strength within yourself that once seemed impossible. There was a time when you tolerated confusion far longer than you should have. You kept hoping people would change. You kept believing situations would suddenly improve if you gave them enough patience, enough understanding, enough chances. But now something inside you has awakened. You are beginning to recognize that protecting your peace is not selfish. Guarding your spirit is not weakness. Walking away from what constantly drains your energy is not failure. It is wisdom. You no longer feel comfortable ignoring the discomfort inside your soul. That old version of you who accepted emotional confusion just to avoid losing people is fading away. You are learning to honor yourself in ways you never did before, even if nobody notices this transformation yet. It is happening, quietly, deeply, powerfully. Not everyone around you will understand the changes taking place inside you. Some individuals will misinterpret your silence. Others may become uncomfortable when they realize they no longer have the same access to your time, your emotions, or your energy. There will be people who question your distance because your growth no longer benefits their control. Do not let those reactions shake you. You are not here to make everyone comfortable with your evolution. You are here to walk in truth. Your journey is personal, and not every person deserves an explanation for the boundaries you create. Some lessons are meant to be lived, not defended. Some decisions are meant to protect your spirit, not gain approval from others. Stay grounded in what you know deep inside. You have already spent enough time abandoning yourself to keep peace with people who never truly understood your worth. As you continue stepping back and observing quietly, you will begin noticing things you once overlooked. Watch how certain individuals behave when they can no longer influence you the same way. Observe how attitudes shift when your energy is no longer constantly available. People reveal their true intentions when control begins slipping away. There is no need for arguments or emotional battles. Simply pay attention. Truth always exposes itself through actions over time. You are not responsible for carrying emotional burdens that were never yours to begin with. You are not obligated to remain connected to people who constantly disrupt your inner peace. You do not have to force yourself to stay in environments where your spirit feels restless and heavy. Releasing something does not always mean hatred. Sometimes it simply means recognizing that a season has ended. Certain connections only exist to teach lessons, not to remain forever. Right now, your sense of identity is becoming stronger than ever before. You are starting to see yourself outside the opinions, expectations, and projections of others. That clarity will protect you in the future. When a person truly knows who they are, manipulation loses its power. Confusion cannot easily enter a mind that is grounded in truth. You are building a foundation within yourself that will support every future blessing entering your life. There comes a moment when a person stops searching endlessly for more signs and simply accepts what their spirit already understands. You are reaching that moment now. Deep inside, you already know what has been revealed to you. You already know what disturbs your peace and what nourishes it. Stop asking for repeated confirmation about what your soul has made clear. Trust yourself enough to move forward without needing endless validation. The next steps in your life do not require dramatic confrontations or emotional chaos. They require consistency. They require steady movement toward what feels peaceful, healthy, and spiritually aligned. Create distance from what constantly drains you. Protect your mental clarity. Choose environments that allow your spirit to breathe. Small decisions made daily will eventually create massive transformation in your life. Understand this clearly. When you release what no longer aligns with your purpose, you create room for better things to enter your life. New relationships, new opportunities, and healthier connections cannot fully arrive while your hands are still tightly holding on to confusion. There are people ahead who will not leave you questioning your worth. There are connections ahead that will inspire peace instead of anxiety. There are individuals waiting who will understand your heart without constantly making you feel emotionally exhausted. Do not return to old habits simply because they once felt familiar. You have already outgrown that version of yourself. The lessons you survived were not meaningless. They were preparing you for a different level of awareness. You are stronger now than you were before, more emotionally intelligent, more spiritually awake, more protective of your peace. Do not allow temporary loneliness or emotional memories to pull you backward into cycles that already taught you painful lessons. You are not walking through this season alone. Every realization unfolding inside you is leading you toward a life that reflects deeper truth and stronger purpose. Even when things feel uncertain externally, something powerful is stabilizing within you internally. A calm kind of strength is forming inside your spirit. It does not seek attention. It does not need validation. It simply exists with quiet confidence. This strength is different because it comes from acceptance. You are no longer exhausting yourself trying to force false situations to make sense. You are no longer trying to convince yourself that confusion is love or that inconsistency is normal. You are finally seeing things as they truly are, rather than how you desperately hoped they would become. That clarity is setting you free piece by piece. You may also notice the emotional attachment you once felt beginning to weaken. That does not mean your heart has become cold. It means your vision has become clear. Once truth enters your awareness, illusion loses its power. You stop romanticizing what continuously wounded you. You stop excusing behavior that repeatedly disrupted your peace. You begin valuing emotional stability more than temporary emotional highs. At times, doubt may still attempt to return. Thoughts may whisper that perhaps you misunderstood everything or reacted too strongly. Do not feed those thoughts. Doubt often appears right before breakthrough because confusion wants to keep you trapped in familiar cycles. But your spirit already knows the difference between peace and emotional exhaustion. You do not need to revisit painful patterns just to prove your intuition was correct. Type Amen if you are ready to fully trust what your spirit already knows. You are learning one of the most important lessons of all: how to release people without carrying bitterness in your heart. This matters deeply. Healing is not about becoming angry at everyone who hurt you. Healing is about freeing yourself without poisoning your spirit with resentment. When you let go peacefully, you move forward lighter. You protect your energy from becoming trapped in negativity. You leave space for genuine healing and future joy. Some people may try to reconnect with you once they sense your energy pulling away. They may use memories, emotions, apologies, or temporary changes to draw you back into old patterns. Stay aware. Remember the clarity you fought so hard to gain. Temporary emotions should never erase permanent lessons. You did not come this far just to abandon your own growth. The version of you that tolerated constant confusion is ending. In its place, a wiser and more spiritually grounded person is emerging. Someone who listens to their inner voice. Someone who values peace more than attachment. Someone who understands that real love does not leave your soul in constant turmoil. There is a future ahead of you that feels lighter than what you have carried. A future where your spirit no longer feels trapped between confusion and hope. A future where your relationships feel stable instead of draining. A future where your mind rests peacefully because you are no longer betraying your own intuition. Do not fear this transformation. Embrace it. Growth often feels uncomfortable because it requires leaving behind old emotional identities. But every step you are taking now is bringing you closer to the life your spirit has been longing for. Trust the process unfolding inside you. Trust the peace guiding your decisions. Trust the wisdom you have gained through every difficult lesson. You are not losing yourself anymore. You are